Hey guys, today I thought I'd show start footage how I make shrink plastic keychains and pins. I just had to make a America's Ass keychain, so I got into Autodesk Sketchbook and drew up something pretty simple. If you get too detailed, it's hard to read once it's shrunk down. This one ended up being on the verge of too detailed. I think if I were to do this again, I would make the line weight heavier. I think that would have helped a lot. I just did some simple shading, not super complex, again because it's only going to be like 2 inches around when it's done, and you don't want to make it hard to know what's going on. Once the drawing was done, I placed it into Adobe Illustrator and started playing around with how I wanted the text to look. I tried making a curved line with the pen tool to place my text on, but it just wasn't working out how I wanted it to. I couldn't get the curves to flow parallel to the circle, so I ended up using the warp effect to arc the text to fit the way I wanted it to, and I liked that a lot better. Once I got the words right, I sized it how big I wanted it to be when it printed out. Remember, it's going to shrink up to be about half the size. I also lowered the opacity to about 60% because the ink gets darker as it bakes. Here's the shrink plastic I use. It's completely opaque and you can print on both sides of it. I've heard recently that some people will line it up right so they can print it on both sides and have double-sided keychains. I haven't played around with that yet, but I think that's something that would be really cool. Then I just cut around it. For keychains and earrings, a hole punch makes the perfect size hole, and remember to do that before you bake it. I like to write my shop name on the back as a little personal touch, and also so whoever buys it will remember where they got it from. Next step is to preheat the oven and lay them nice and spaced out. You don't want them too close together because they'll get stuck if they run into each other. And I put them on parchment paper. They take about 2 to 3 minutes to bake. I don't set a timer, I just keep an eye on them and pull them out when they get shrunk enough. And then I flatten down the edges with a spatula. Sometimes they can get a little wiggly, and I like to straighten that out. These guys did distort a little bit. They're not as round, they're a little bit more oval now, but it's not too bad, and I think it still looks alright. Next, it's time to add the keychains. I use jump rings to attach them to the Shrinky Dinks. And those came in this kit I got off Amazon. It came with keychains and jump rings, which is pretty cool. I made 3 of them into keychains and 1 of them into a pin. and I attached the pin part with E6000 glue. Here I'm just deciding if I want to use this sort of clasp closure pin, or if I want to use these pins that are kind of like the ones that are on enamel pins. I decided to use the clasp closure one for this guy because I think it works better for the shape. And that's it for these guys. I really liked how they turned out. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!